It started with the sound of a screeching engine echoing down a quiet backstreet. That's where the worlds of two very different men collided. On one side, Adrian Steele, a millionaire CEO of a global tech company. A man polished to perfection, stepping out of a $400,000 Ferrari, his Italian suit worth more than most people's yearly salary. On the other side, Samir, a street mechanic whose grease-stained hands and patched-up shirt told a story of survival. He wasn't anyone special in the eyes of the world, just a man who repaired broken cars under a tin-roof garage, trying to feed his little sister after life had stripped him of everything else. Adrian had stopped because his Ferrari was making a rattling noise. Annoyed, impatient, he had pulled over near Samir's tiny workshop while waiting for his chauffeur to arrive with another car. "I doubt you even know what this machine is," Adrian had said with a smirk, leaning on the gleaming hood. "This isn't one of those rust buckets you're used to hammering nails into." Samir looked up, wiping sweat from his forehead, and smiled calmly. "A machine is a machine, sir. Big or small, expensive or cheap, they all breathe the same way. If you let me listen to it, I might know what's wrong." Adrian laughed, loud and dismissive. His friends who had been in the car with him laughed too. "You fix my Ferrari? That's like asking a street barber to style the King of England." But Samir didn't flinch. He quietly stepped closer, listened to the engine's rhythm, and placed his hand gently on the hood as if feeling its heartbeat. "It's misfiring because of a faulty valve timing sensor," he murmured. "A small adjustment and she'll run smooth again." Adrian rolled his eyes. "Of course, you'd think it's that simple. Do you know how many engineers from Ferrari designed this? You think a man with grease under his nails knows better than them." But Samir didn't argue. He asked softly, "Do you want me to try? Won't cost you a thing. Just 5 minutes." Reluctantly, and only because he wanted another reason to laugh later, Adrian agreed. "Fine, show me your magic." With nothing but a screwdriver and an improvised tool he had crafted from scrap metal, Samir crouched under the hood. His hands moved with precision and care, his ears attuned to the rhythm of the machine. Within minutes, the Ferrari's engine purred like a lion that had just been tamed. Smooth, strong, alive. The laughter died from Adrian's lips. For a moment, he was speechless. But pride is heavy, and ego often blinds the truth. He chuckled again, brushing it off. "Well, maybe you got lucky. Even a broken clock is right twice a day." He tossed a few bills at Samir's feet, mocking him, and drove away. Samir didn't pick up the money. He just went back to repairing an old taxi that waited by his shed. For him, dignity was worth more than a few crumpled notes. But destiny has a strange way of speaking. The very next morning, Adrian was woken by an urgent call. It was Ferrari headquarters in Italy. The engineers had been reviewing a series of complaints about a recurring flaw in their latest model, the exact flaw Samir had spotted. Their research team had been stuck for weeks, unable to pinpoint the root cause. Somehow, a recording of Adrian's engine issue, paired with the minor adjustments Samir had made, had reached them. "Mr. Steele," the voice on the phone said, "whoever that mechanic was, he is nothing short of a genius. He solved a problem our entire team couldn't. We need to meet him immediately." Adrian's heart sank. He remembered the man's calm eyes, his quiet confidence, the way he had spoken as though machines whispered secrets only he could hear. For the first time in years, Adrian felt something unusual, shame. The following day, dressed not in his tailored suit but in a simple shirt, Adrian returned to that backstreet garage. Samir was there, bent over a rickety motorbike, humming softly as he worked. When Adrian stepped closer, Samir looked up, surprised but not hostile. "I came to apologize," Adrian said, his voice stripped of arrogance. "And to thank you. Ferrari themselves called you a genius. They want to meet you." They're offering to fly you to Italy, to join their engineering team. Samir froze. His eyes widened, not in greed, but in disbelief. Me, but I'm just a street mechanic. I didn't even finish college. Adrian shook his head. Talent doesn't ask for permission. Genius doesn't come wrapped in degrees. You saw what even they couldn't. Don't waste this gift. Samir's little sister, Aisha, peeked out from the corner of the shed. She had always believed in her brother, even when the world dismissed him. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, I told you, Baya, one day the world will see what I see. The offer changed everything. Within weeks, Samir was flown to Italy. He walked through Ferrari's grand halls, engineers surrounding him, studying his methods, his instinct, his way of listening to machines as though they were alive. Slowly, his life transformed. The boy who once fixed broken rickshaws under a leaking roof was now designing engines that would roar across the world. Adrian stayed in touch, not as a CEO looking down on a mechanic, but as a man who had been humbled. He invested in Samir's dream, a foundation to train underprivileged youth in mechanical engineering. Talent, Samir would often say to his students, is like an engine. Sometimes it just needs the right spark to run. The story became legendary, not of the millionaire CEO who owned Ferraris, but of the street mechanic who taught the world's finest engineers a lesson in humility. And whenever Samir looked at his sister's proud eyes, he knew he had fixed more than just cars. He had fixed their future. And as for Adrian, he often remembered that moment when he had laughed. Now, whenever he spoke at business forums, he always ended with the same words, never laugh at someone who works with their hands. Because sometimes, those hands hold the genius that can change the world.